All right, good evening, everybody. This is the Fantasy Sports Boss with another 2024 player analyzer. Today, wanted to talk about Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. Now, a lot of the early player analyzers I've been doing so far this year are quarterbacks, because the quarterback's usually less volatile from year to year than, say, a running back, especially, or wide receiver and whatnot. But there's quite a bit to unwind when it comes to Jalen Hurts and his 2023 season, which we're going to get to. Now, of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure the first thing you do is hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button as well. So that way, you check in every day and there's new videos posted, any live streams. I haven't gone live in a while. I'm planning to do a live stream soon. So stay tuned for that. That's probably going to be maybe this weekend, but more likely next week to preview the Super Bowl. We can all talk about the Super Bowl and whatnot. Of course, we have the NFL draft coming up, eventually. A lot of stuff to discuss there, and we're going to cover it all. But now, as far as Jalen Hurts is concerned, now last summer, the debate was which quarterback should go number one. It was Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, or Pat Mahomes, right? Now, Mahomes was the one who wound up getting drafted on average ahead of the other two. Even though Hurts, on a per-game basis in 2022, was the number one quarterback in fantasy on a per-game basis, points per game. But he, on average in drafts, was the third quarterback taken behind Mahomes at 1, Josh Allen at 2. Listen, we all know by now, Pat Mahomes, that was not the right choice. I believe Mahomes finished QB6 through week 17. Jalen Hurts finished QB2 behind Josh Allen. So, for what you paid for Jalen Hurts in the third round, he paid off, right? I mean, he finished QB2, only one quarterback through week 17, scored more fantasy points, and that was Josh Allen. And again, we do this through week 17 because week 18, a lot of teams set players and whatnot. So it was more you get a better reading on how a player did through through week 17. Also in points per game, Hurts finished number 2, again behind Josh Allen. So Josh Allen was the best buy of the three, but Jalen Hurts was right behind. Now, all that said, Hurts' fantasy points were impressive. I mean, again, QB2, also QB2 in points per game. Like, on numbers alone, he really paid off. He did well. But you got the sense when watching Jalen Hurts throughout the course of the season that he just wasn't playing well, even though the points showed that he was playing well based on points. In actuality, in real life football, he wasn't. And he became a turnover machine to the point that there were reports that the locker room of the Eagles had some grumbling about how much he was turning the ball over. And if you look at it, 23 TD passes, which is low for a starting quarterback. I know that he runs a lot, which we're going to get to. So I'm not so worried about that. But 15 interceptions. On top of that, 9 fumbles, 5 of them were lost. So 20 turnovers total for Jalen Hurts, which is inexcusable. 15 interceptions were terrible. Just listen, once Shane Steichen took that job as Indianapolis head coach, perhaps we didn't pay enough attention to what that would do to the offense. And really, the second half of the year is when we saw the struggles, all right? The Eagles quickly moved on from their offensive coordinator. They hired Kellen Moore, who's now like a journeyman OC, goes from Dallas to the Los Angeles Chargers, now with the Eagles. But Hurts, it just didn't, the offense, the passing attack especially, just did not mesh the second half of the year. And the Eagles wound up losing 6 of their last 7 games, including getting destroyed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs in the wild card round. Just a really ugly finish to where Nick Sirianni almost lost his job. So again, the TD interception ratio wasn't good. The less than 4,000 passing yards. Hurts is never going to be a 4,000 yard passer because he runs so much, and the Eagles, that's a big part of the attack. Now, as far as the running, 605 yards on the ground, which was light. Like, he's been over 700 yards the previous couple of seasons, but 15 rushing touchdowns, which is one of the most impressive stats of any player in fantasy football, regardless of the position. 15 rushing scores is massive, absolutely massive. And we all know the tush push was a big reason for that. So that's the part of Hurts' game that really brought home the bacon, right? So no qualms there. Now, looking ahead to 2024, a couple of things. And again, this is very early. On the surface, he's got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, 3 tremendous targets. It's a concentrated target tree, but those are three very high-end targets. A.J. Brown, the rumblings he could get traded. I don't think that's going to happen. So that the weapons are there. Plus, the arrival of Kellen Moore is a good thing. Kellen Moore has always spearheaded very potent passing attacks going back to his time with Dallas. He didn't really get a chance last year with the Chargers because Justin Herbert got hurt, but I think this is a net positive. Moore is a proven offensive coordinator, and I think it's really going to help Jalen Hurts cut down on turnovers, make some easier throws, and boost his passing numbers. Now, Hurts is a smaller quarterback, right? He gets banged up, has missed some time in the past. Nothing too debilitating, but again, he's a small guy, runs a lot, so he's susceptible to injury. Whereas Josh Allen, we know Josh Allen always plays, that he looks like the safer pick of the two. But again, Jalen Hurts is going to require a third-round pick again, early third-round pick, maybe even a late second, because he's just simply that good. The numbers, he gets so many touchdowns. Now, does Jason Kelce retire? Does that impact the tush-push? I don't know. We'll talk about that as we go along. But I have Jalen Hurts down for 3,700 passing yards, 23 TDs through the air, 12 picks. I think he does lower that number with more there. 720 rushing yards, 14 TDs on the ground. I think he's absolutely going to be a top 3 quarterback again in fantasy. Let me know what you think. Post in the comments. Give me your thoughts and ideas. More to come soon. Stay tuned.